Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Klein Connect here, along with head coach Scott Langer, as usual. Coach, the regular season is in the books, and when I say books, I mean record books this time, with 51 wins and 103 points, both of which are North American Hockey League records. And, of course, we celebrated that with the awards banquet yesterday. The regular season, of course, just the beginning as the playoffs are about to get underway. But before we get into the awards and all that kind of stuff, I wanted to break down the weekend. Obviously, Minot scored first on Friday night, but then it was all Wings. A 10-1 win that featured a hat trick by Nathan Verdez in the second period alone, and then he added another one. Balanced scoring, and just like we talked about on Saturday night, it was easier to try to determine what you didn't like versus what you liked from a game like that, because there were so many things to like. Thoughts on Friday night's matchup?
Yeah, I thought it was big that Jake Oldowski got that goal, very, very quick after they did. So we pushed back right away, and, our game Friday night was one of our better games of the season as far as our depth in scoring and how solid our defensemen played. I mean, we were breaking forechecks like no other, and it was creating offense on the other side of the ice. So there was a lot going well for us that night. It was one of those games as a coach that you just can't let them go.
Yeah.
Just let them play. Everything was kind of clicking, and obviously it's a lot of fun when you have that kind of success against a team like Minot.
Well, without a doubt, a convincing win there on Friday night. Then back to it Saturday night, a 4-1 win. Featured a Michigan from Matsui, and obviously closer on the scoreboard. But again, shots on goal, everything just felt like it was in favor of the Wings. I thought Minot had a pretty strong second period, actually, but for the most part, again, a strong performance by your Wings team. What did you think of Saturday's matchup?
Yeah, again, we do a great job of getting out early and kind of defining how the game's going to go. And yeah, they did push back for parts of that second period, which was good to see. But our guys responded well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think it was McKay that got us back on the board and going in the right direction. And, it was a solid weekend. I thought our guys played extremely well, and there was a lot on the line. There was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Our guys, as well as they played this year, there's still a lot of pressure in those type of games to get to the records that everybody's talking about. And, we never once talked about them. They just knew. And they certainly went out there and they played with that in mind. And they obviously got the result that we were looking for as a franchise.
Well, what does it mean? A couple of weeks ago, you and I talked about playing your best hockey at the end of the year and not resting guys, so to speak, or laying off at all, because it's not a switch. You got to be able to keep it at a high level as you step into the postseason. So what does it mean to come off a weekend like that, like where you said basically, Friday night was one of the best games of the year, really. You got to feel pretty good about going into the playoffs, playing after a weekend like that.
Yeah, it certainly generates a lot of confidence for our guys, and we know that Minot's going to be a tough team, a tough opponent in the playoffs, but you have to like the way our guys responded and finished on the weekend. I mean, we had so many guys going in the right direction, and like I said, it builds a lot of confidence heading in. I fully suspect this week of preparation is going to be animated and a lot of energy, but. Yeah, I just think sitting guys builds a bad mindset.
Yeah.
I think it makes guys think that they're above the rest of the guys that are actually in the lineup, and that's not how it works here. Even the guys that don't play as often as others are equally important to our success, and I think that the regular season is put in place for a reason, and you finish it the right way.
Yeah, well, it certainly did. As mentioned in North American Hockey League records, it's something that we, I guess, as a staff and so on, kind of talked about, and people were aware of the records there. But I thought it was pretty cool to see the league itself tweet and Facebook post, "Take a bow, Aberdeen. You are officially the regular season best ever." And I just sat there for a moment and just kind of looked at that and thought, that's pretty cool, So a great regular season, as we talked about, comes to an end. Playoffs around the corner. We talked. Obviously, we just saw Minot, but little bit of a surprise. I kind of thought it was going to be the Wilderness in the first round, but they get shuffled after the Wilderness swept the Bobcats over the weekend, and of course Minot was swept by the Wings. Minot falls to the 4 seed, so it's going to be Minot. Obviously, you know this team, but playoff hockey is different. I mean, it just is. The energy, the intensity, everything is amped up. Do you do anything different? And I think I already know the answer to that. You don't mess with what's working. But are there any changes or anything in store for playoffs?
I think it's business as usual.
Yeah.
I think it has to be. We've done things a certain way the entire season. We've had success with them, and we don't look to change that. Our guys have their way of going about things during the course of a week, and our only focus is Friday night right now. I mean, we know it's a 5-game series, but the big thing is getting out on the right, even in the first period, just getting out on the right foot and playing solid hockey and give yourselves a chance to win every game. That's the biggest thing. And if you do that, the odds are you're going to have an opportunity to win that series. And we know it's going to be a tough series against Minot. They're a team that has guys that can hurt you, and they've got a goaltender that's very good. So it's a good first round matchup. I think it's going to be fun to watch, and we're excited to get after it.
All right. Wanted to take a quick run through of the awards from the awards banquet yesterday and get your take on some of these guys, because there's obviously some very deserving players that won awards yesterday, and wanted to run through them. But for example, we'll start with Rookie of the Year and Most Improved of the Year, which went to Kyle Gaffney. Kyle's a guy that the beginning of the season, like we talked about a little bit, it's not easy for a first-year guy to not really know what to expect and so on. Granted, having a brother that had played juniors, actually, and for you, probably gave him a little bit of a leg up on some, but it's not easy to be a first-year guy and to continue to improve your game and contribute the way that he did. What are your thoughts on Kyle winning those awards?
Yeah, well deserved. Obviously, there's a player that fought his way to get into the lineup during the season, and then obviously he sustained a pretty substantial injury that he was able to overcome pretty quick. And when he came back, he worked himself back into one of the top lines there, playing with Peyton Matsui, and doing just an absolute great job. And he's deserving of both those awards without a doubt. And it says a lot about him, because he's a pretty modest guy. He's not a very vocal guy. He just goes about his business, and he adds a lot of depth to our lineup. So he's done a great job and well earned.
On to the next award, Offensive Player of the Year for the Wings. Probably not a huge surprise, considering looking at the point standings and so on, and the stat sheet when it comes to scoring. Peyton Matsui, the Offensive Player of the Year. Matsui added so much when it came to offensive pressure, but game-winning goals. I mean, in pressure spots too, in really key moments, he really found a way to shine over the course of the year. Your thoughts on Peyton with the Offensive Player of the Year?
I think that's key right there. Is a lot of those points are in situations where you need a goal to get back in the game, or you need a goal to build momentum, or it seemed like Peyton Matsui was right on spot when we needed something big, whether it was a big assist or goal. And I still believe that if this was a 60-game schedule, he would have broke the Brad Belisle's franchise record for most points. But Peyton is a guy that he just brings so much to this hockey team. His energy level, and he's the first guy here on a game day, and he's got such a great routine. He's 20 years old, probably could be coasting with a scholarship to Fairbanks, and he's done completely the opposite. He's a workhorse, and he works at it every day, and boy, he brings a lot to this team.
But at the beginning of the year, he was lacking confidence. Huh?
Well, he was. Like I told you, I was on the phone trying to explain to him that we were going to give him everything needed to build that confidence, and obviously he found a way.
Yeah.
And that's all owed to himself, because he's just such a student of the game and such a hard worker, and he absolutely loves his teammates, and his teammates love him, and that's the big story on Peyton Matsui.
A Defensive Player of the Year, we had co-defensemen, because there was actually a tie in voting for Nico DeVita and Trevor Russell, two guys that have been, the foundation in a lot of ways of that blue line.
They did, and they play playing a lot of key situations, whether it's the penalty kill or the power play. Both those guys were big minute guys all season. And whenever we needed them, even when we were down 5-on-6 at an end of a game, those guys are out there shutting guys down. But it's going to be tough to replace those two guys.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of games for this club over the last couple of years, and they've done big things. Even though Trev's only got one goal in his career, he's got a lot of big assists, and he's very physical out there, and he's just honest defending defenseman. And Nico, obviously, you look at his plus minus. It's one stat that is extremely difficult to lead the league in. Yeah. And that's plus minus. And it just shows you how much he's on the ice for things that go the right way. And you look at our personal stats, he's usually one of the leaders in energy stats and block shots and hits, and he does all the little things right. He's going to be one heck of a Division I defenseman. Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned it, blocked shots. When I think of DeVita and Russell, that's one of the first things that comes to mind. Kind of stay-at-home defensemen a little bit more than others, but boy, I can't even think of how many times that they've stepped in front of one, for their team. So, hard hat player of the year, Spencer Schneider, a guy that it's just that blue-collar kind of work ethic that just works his butt off. And Schneider certainly deserving of that award.
Well, unanimous. It's from the staff all the way down. He was the unanimous guy. And you look at the things that Spencer brings. Yeah, he had a good year production-wise offensively. The numbers are really good, but I tell you, his physicality, his ability to block big shots, he breaks up plays. He's one of the first guys on the back check, breaking up plays. He just plays the game the right way, and he plays it so hard, and he dedicates his whole body to this team, and he does it every single night, and that's not easy to do in junior hockey. I couldn't tell you when Spencer Schneider had a bad game for this team since we brought him in last year. What a big pickup for this franchise, and boy, I'm really proud to have had him part of this organization.
Without a doubt. On to our next awards. The Hart Award and Community Service Award both went to Clay Cosentino, and I thought in a lot of senses they kind of go hand in hand. Hart Award, somebody that, like you just talked about with Spencer Schneider, is somebody that dedicates their body, their heart, everything to their team, but also to the community, because the community is a big part of it. So it's kind of cool that he actually ends up winning both of those.
Yeah, when you look at Clay, he's such a caring individual, and he truly cares about his teammates and about this staff and about the people around the arena and people in the community. And you could just see that. You just talk to him once, you're going to know that boy, is he just a special kid, and his heart's in this thing every single day, and he plays like it, even when he was put in a situation to help two other guys that it could sacrifice some of his points when he was so far ahead in point wise, and he did it without saying a word.
Right.
And this team's meant a lot to Clay, and he's meant a lot to this team, and extremely deserving of those two awards.
And you watch him in other buildings too, whether it's his interaction with referee or linesman or off ice officials or whatever. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always talking to people, and just a friendly and very congenial guy. And I think that you can, like you said, just by talking to him and seeing that, you can pretty easy to pick up on. Final award of the night was the MVP, and in this case, MVPs, co-MVPs, Peyton Matsui and Jake Seibel. Obviously, Matsui, as we talked about, with huge offensive production. On the other side of that, huge defensive production from a guy that now has the franchise record and ties the North American Hockey League record for shutouts. Jake Seibel, again, the co-MVP. Obviously, like I said, we talked about Matsui. We know what he brings. Seibel, though, has just been a rock, too, hasn't he?
Yeah. There was no other way to go with that award. Both those players have meant so much to this team this year, starting from the very first game that we dropped the puck with this unit. Jake has done some things that are going to be really tough. Yeah. And I know we said that when we talked about Matt Vernon. Mm-hmm. But Jake has really put the bar high in a lot of categories. And we all know Jake around here. He doesn't say a whole lot, but he loves to win hockey games, and he loves his team, and he's a special kid. And he's taken the path that's extremely long to get where he is today. He's paid a major price in junior hockey. He's been shipped around. He's been quit on a few times, and he just had enough this year. And he put his foot down and he put the work in. Did a great job over the summer. Obviously, the job that Josh Aycock does with him every single day, he's in his ear. And Josh is one of the most positive people I've ever met. Everything's always positive. And if I say something negative to Josh, he always turns it into a positive, which that's the reason why he's around. He just does a fantastic job. But Jake, Peyton, those two have just laid it on the line for this team this year. And you know what? I would go to battle with those guys any day of the week, any game of the week. I would go to battle with those guys.
Well, that's good, because playoffs are right around the corner, folks, and we'll have information about tickets and so on coming up. Of course, as we talked about, Wings will take on Minot. But regular season in the books, as I mentioned, fantastic regular season, great award banquet yesterday to honor all of these guys and all of them for the hard work that they were doing. I thought it was pretty cool to see that standing ovation for all of them and stuff. But like I said, we're not done yet, and I think that sentiment was mentioned by you and certainly by the team and owner Greg Odie as well. But Coach, I think that's about all I've got for you in this portion anyway, and I want to thank you for coming on as always, and best of luck coming up against Minot.
Thanks, Shay.
All right, folks, we'll continue with the second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this.
How you move matters. Avera Orthopedics helps you move freely and live life to the fullest with innovative treatment options customized to your bone, muscle, and joint needs. Whether you suffer from aches, breaks, tears, or dislocations, turn to the orthopedic team experienced in treating every body.
Welcome back to the second portion of Wings Weekly, and as usual, a player is joining me, and this time it is Nathan Verdez of Budapest, Hungary. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, good to have you back on. So we run through all the players and have guys that have basically who have had big weekends, and that was certainly the case for you. 4 goals in one game on Friday night, and a hat trick coming in the second period alone, and then you had an assist to a 5-point night on Friday night. You ever had a game like that?
Maybe when I was 8 and we were playing like the half ice, but yeah, that was the best game of my life for sure, and yeah, I'm so happy about that.
Oh, it was amazing. The crowd, like you talked about, with the on-ice interview with Megan, being able to get a hat trick at home, and the crowd obviously responded with the throwing of hats and so on. And then you come back Saturday night and you got a goal in that game. Were you thinking, hey, let's do this again? Or what? Things were going pretty well for you.
Yeah, we were joking about it with the boys that I should get another hattie. But yeah, that was a harder game on Saturday for sure. But I'm just so grateful for the fans that they love what they gave me all year. That's what gave me energy the whole year. It's a long season, but you know that there's a saying that the best surfer out there is the one having the most fun. Yeah. And I think on Friday I had the most fun on the ice.
Well, and we're going to talk about that, because that's one of the topics I wanted to get to, was having fun playing the game. And of course the relationship with fans. But before we go there, I wanted to talk a little bit about how, there was a point this year where you were in a little bit of a dry spell and kind of got the monkey off your back and then beat it up in Minot and ended up getting a little trouble for that one. But anyway, the point I guess I was making was that there's some hot spells and cold spells. It kind of comes and goes at different times. How do you fight through that? When you're having a little bit of a dry spell, but you know what you're capable of. You know that you're capable of putting the puck in the back of the net. There's got to be a level of frustration there. How do you push through that to find that next hot streak, so to speak?
There are people who are helping me through these cold streaks. Like Coach Langer helped a lot to me, and his old friend, Coach Harry Mahood. I talked with him in a Zoom call. We talked about hockey and my life, and he gave me these Powerball numbers. So thank you for those. Like 5 points, what I need to focus on in the game. Like I don't need to worry about scoring goals or making passes, because I've been playing hockey for 14 years. I know all these stuff. So it's more like mental stuff and like attitude stuff that compete. He said I should be the best defensive player. I'm not a defensive player, but I need to be the best defensive player. I have to be the most physical player. And since he gave me these Powerball numbers, and I'm trying to focus on these things, I'm one of the highest energy guys in the team. I have like 14 hits in a weekend, and you know, I paid the price for it, and the price is some goals. So I'm just so happy about that.
Different Powerball numbers. These are the Powerball numbers for winning and for being able to be successful, and that's very cool because you know what? I've seen it. I have seen the physicality, the defensive play. You know, all of that that has increased over the course of this year. Honestly, I can say that I'll look at it and go, man, Verdes is out there hitting people tonight, you know, or whatever. Yeah. And with those positives and those numbers, like you said, kind of a checkoff list almost, then comes the other portion, the other part of the game that leads to success. Very cool.
And there are also players, like teammates, who are helping me. Like we're going to church every Sunday with Clay, and we're talking a lot. He had some cold streaks. I tried to help him through those, and he's helping me through. So shout out Clay, thank you.
Excellent. Well, just another sentiment, or I should say actually testament to the chemistry in this locker room and what this whole group means to each other. And before, again, we get to that special relationship with fans and having fun, what are your thoughts on the nickname Ramen?
Ramen?
Yeah, ramen noodles. I've been seeing people who have been saying that about, I think it's from your hair.
Yeah, so my hair looks like ramen noodles. I got this nickname in Hungary also. Some fans when I was younger, they called me ramen noodles. I like it. Yeah. I like ramen noodles.
Sure.
That ramen noodles was my pre-game meal last year, with some Doritos and some Dr. Pepper.
Oh yeah, always healthy. Well, and let's get to that fun part because, you know, I feel like oftentimes it can be a little bit misunderstood as taunting. Because I don't feel like what you're doing, since the first game I saw you play in the showcase in Blaney, you know, feels like a long time ago now, but your Sully's, you know, riding your stick and the stick as a fishing rod and different things like that I saw in those very first games. I was just like, okay, not sure how this is going to go over with other teams because you know they may take that wrong, but you really don't mean anything by it. It seems like it's just you're having fun and you enjoy the game.
No, I'm not trying to be like mocking other guys. I'm not chirping guys. It's not because I want them to feel bad. It's because I feel really good, and I just want to show everyone, to the fans, hey, I have the most fun here, so you should have fun too. Yeah. I'm just happy when I have success and the team has success, and I like to do sellies. I always figure out something. The fishing sellies because with Clay and my roommates Reed and Carl. We're going to fishing after every practice, like almost every day, to Richmond Lake. And I told them, hey, if I score a goal this weekend, I'm going to do the fishing sally because I'm a big fisherman now. Yeah. I catch the most fish. I don't know anything about fishing. I don't even know the fish names, but I catch the most fish. So Clay, Carl, and Reed, I'm the best fisherman.
Oh, I love that. Maybe it's just your positive energy, your positive attitude that they're attracted to, regardless of what kind of a lure you're using. The fish name, immediately I thought, you mean like Larry or Hank? What are their names? And I was like, oh, you must mean like walleye or perch or what the type of fish is. Gotcha. All right. Well, you know what? It's funny because with the fans, and I told you I wanted to get to that because I had some people talking to me over the course of the, weeks really, but certainly over the weekend, about how positive you are and how much fun you seem to have, your smile. You know, going through the door and running down the mat to give someone a t-shirt instead of just kind of skating out on the ice and tossing it, you know, casually or whatever. And you hear it when they announce your name. You hear it when we're at the awards banquet. We hear it when Megan's got you on ice for an interview, and there's a connection there. They can tell, they can feel that you appreciate them, and I think it just magnifies everything. Have you ever had an experience like that before, no matter whether you're playing maybe in World Cup or whatever, where you feel like a true connection, almost like family with the group of people that are cheering you on?
You know, it's different here because because I don't have my family here
Yeah.
and my friends, and I just try to get this connection between me and the fans, and it just means a lot to me that they love me. Like, some fans are texting me after every game, and it just means a lot, really. And I'm so thankful for the fans and this whole organization, because this was sure the best 2 years of my life. And I just realized that before this weekend, that this is the last 2 regular seasons games I'm gonna ever play in as a wing, and I think that's why I was successful this weekend, because I had this feeling that I need to show up and I need to give some more. But we're not done yet.
No.
And yeah, with the fans for sure. I told Megan after the second period that I just wanna give back something to them for the love they give me. I just want them to have fun, and I just want, yeah, they're paying for watch our games, and it's great to see that they love to be here.
Yeah. Well, like I said, very a special relationship for sure. I had to ask you about your favorite food now, because every time I talk to you, it seems like it's changed up. It goes from Uncrustables, PB&J's to Pop-Tarts last year. What's hot on the menu item or on the menu for you now?
Okay, so my Billet Dad's Sloppy Joe is the best Sloppy Joe ever. That's one.
Okay.
2, Hank the Chapel guy, Hank Bowen's burrito. Awesome. And the third one, I can't eat it anymore, but in the winter there were like this red velvet cake blizzard at DQ, this ice cream.
Gotcha.
That was the best ice cream I've ever had. I can't eat it anymore, but that's really good.
All right. Okay, playoffs coming up. Like you said, not done. Regular season is in the books, in the record books, but Minot comes back, and this is a team that at times has given the Wings trouble. I mean, they shut us out up there midweek and earlier on in the season and so on. What if you just keep doing what you guys are doing? Playoff hockey's different level of intensity and so on. Everything, everybody just lays it all on the line. So should be some good matchups with the Minotauros. But what have you got to do?
We're ready. We have a good offense. Shout out Soupy and Carl, because we're joking about this before every game, that they're just yelling at guys that, hey, are we ready? Oh yeah, we're ready. So
Gotcha.
I think that's our motto. We're ready for everything, ready for them, and 9 more wins.
Excellent. That's the goal. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and I'll let you get off to go fishing here, Dayton.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nathan Verdes. Folks, 2021 North American Hockey League Robertson Cup playoffs, Friday, May 21st, round 1, game 1 versus the Minot Minotauros. $15 corporate bar stool seats are available. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852. Saturday, May 22nd, round 1, game 2 versus the Minot Minotauros. $15 corporate bar stool seats are available. Call Aaron at 380-5852. Post-game party at Buffalo Wings and Rings. Doors open at 5:30 and the puck always drops at 7:15. Get your tickets now at tickets.aberdeenwings.com. $10 general admission tickets are also available now at any of the 4 Sea Express locations in Aberdeen with additional purchase. Corporate night sponsorships are still available for home games throughout the playoffs. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for more information. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now on a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit aberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Once again, Nathan Verdes, Budapest Hungry, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that'll wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.